Well, hey everybody, welcome back to another Tuesday grilling video, and this one's kind of exciting. We have been doing our culinary circumnavigation of Jamaica, and we continue that with the Bamboo Alley hot peppered shrimp dish. Kind of excited though. We're gonna be doing this on the side burner of our PitBoss. And this area is gonna be my new grilling area. It's all prepped for concrete. We're just waiting for the weather to behave so the concrete contractor can get here. So that'll be exciting. Maybe some changes looking around back here pretty soon. Let me tell you a little bit about this recipe. If you've ever been to Jamaica and you've gone to what they call the Middle Country or somewhere like YS Falls in St. Elizabeth's Parish, there's this great little road called Bamboo Alley. It's near the Black River. And one of the cool things is there's a bunch of street vendors all along Bamboo Alley selling fresh coconut and fruit. And one of the dishes they have there is peppered shrimp. Now what's interesting about the peppered shrimp is there's two types of shrimp they sell depending on what they can actually catch. It's either saltwater shrimp that you and I in the US are familiar with as shrimp, or it's actually freshwater crawfish. They catch them in little bamboo traps and they cook them that way as well. They also call that peppered shrimp. This is a spicy dish. We're gonna do it right on a pan on the side burner of our grill here. It's a pretty simple recipe. There's just one ingredient, well, maybe two ingredients that are a little bit unique. I'll talk about what all the ingredients are in just a moment. Let's get everything prepped, and we're gonna bring a little skillet out here to do this work on. We're gonna be doing them with traditional shrimp, and I went ahead and bought the large shrimp, the 16 to 20 per pound size. I've got 1 pound of shrimp. They still have the tails on them, but they are cut and deveined, and I'm gonna leave the shells on. I wanna keep them on there. Talk about that in a second, why we're doing that. We have about a half of a small onion and about a half of a bell pepper. I'm actually using 2 small sweet peppers. We've got a dash of salt we're gonna be using. We have a teaspoon of thyme. If you use fresh thyme, that would be even better. A little bit of Sazon tropical seasoning, and just a bit of allspice, or what in Jamaica they call pimento seed. They'll grind it up in a mortar and pestle. That's allspice. We have smoked paprika. Now typically you can do this with a couple of tablespoons of smoked paprika, but I'm using about 1 tablespoon of paprika. I'm also using 1 tablespoon of anote. You'll see anote in a couple of different areas. Typically it's going to be in a Latin or Caribbean grocery store. It comes in either a powder or it comes in an oil. You can buy anote oil. And it's very red. It's going to help with our coloring. It's the way we're not going to use red food coloring to get the bright red on these shrimp. I also have about a tablespoon of minced garlic. And I've got some olive oil, and I have the loved but dreaded and hated Scotch bonnet pepper. Yes, I'm a wimp, so I've kept it in the bag. Now typically, for a pound of shrimp, you would use 2 Scotch bonnet peppers cut up with the seeds. I can't handle that kind of heat, so I'm actually going to use 1 Scotch bonnet pepper, and I'm not even going to cut it up. I am just going to let it marinate in the shrimp. Now, if you use any of these, if you use Scotch bonnet peppers, I would encourage you to put gloves on your hand. One false move and a rub on the face or the eye, and I kid you not, you will be in excruciating pain, so it's best to just use gloves. I'm going to do this with dumping it from the bag straight in there, and I'm going to be using a fork or a spoon to mix this. I'm not too worried about that. All right, so let's start by adding a little bit of salt right here to our shrimp. We'll add our minced garlic. We'll add our thyme, allspice, and Sazon seasoning. We will add our anote, as well as our paprika. Add our onions and peppers. We will put in the Scotch bonnet pepper. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to get it right here to the edge, and I'm going to pull the stem off of it, because I think it's going to just expose a little bit more of that heat. There we go. I'm going to keep the stem, drop the pepper in there. That's all I'm doing. I am not going to even cut that open. We are just going to mix this up, and we're going to add a little bit of olive oil here to coat these. That color alone makes you think it's going to hurt, doesn't it? And there's that Scotch bonnet pepper. We're going to cook it in there, but we'll be very careful not to cut it, slice it, or break it up, because I can't handle that. All right, we're going to let this sit for about 30 minutes or so and just marinate. So our shrimp's been marinating for about 30 minutes or so. I've turned on this pan and it's windy, so I'm hoping it's gonna stay lit. I have the flame up pretty high. Might be tough to control the heat, so we're gonna give it our best shot. We're just gonna start with a little bit of olive oil down on the bottom of the pan, mainly so we can see how hot it is. All right, I dropped a little tiny onion in here just so I could see if the oil was good and hot, and it's beginning to sizzle. It's exactly what I want. So now it's just a matter of pouring this in here. Now you notice we're doing these with the shells on, and part of the reason for that is this is traditionally so darn hot, it would penetrate the shells just way too much. You notice I'm even dancing around that Scotch bonnet right there. There it is. We're not going to squeeze that one. Now as you turn these guys over, we're going to go ahead and put a lid over this in just a second. We're going to add some water to it, let them finish steaming. We've got some nice charred flavor on these though. Remember, that's on the actual shells. We're going to go ahead and put a little water in this and put a lid over it now. Let that just absorb all that flavor. All right, I'm just going to pour a little water in here. It's not really the right lid, but it'll do the trick. So this has been about 8 or 10 minutes or so, and look at the color here. That's exactly what we're looking for. I'm going to flip all these over, and then I'm going to cook it with the lid off, just to render down some of that liquid, turn it into a thicker sauce, and let it just absorb in all this shrimp. I will say it smells amazing. It smells a little spicy, but very fragrant from the thyme and the onion and the garlic. Look at me moving all around that Scotch bonnet pepper as if it's poison. It's already clearing my nose a little bit. I can't imagine if I'd cut 2 of them open into pieces. Man, does this ever look like a rich red color. I'm gonna go ahead and plate this up. In Jamaica, they actually just pack this stuff into little plastic bags and sell it to you on the side of the road. I always thought, why am I buying shrimp cooked and placed in a bag from somebody on the side of the road? I'm also convinced that the heat of the hot pepper shrimp does wonders to make you want to consume a few more red stripe that they just happen to sell right in the coolers. I was trying to stack it so nice so it would look pretty, and I knew one of these would slide off and just put a big old red smear across the plate. And it did. All right, let me set this down. I'll show you what it looks like, and as soon as it cools, we'll try some hot peppered shrimp. I've got my drink over here too, because it is always a bit spicy. Here it is, hot peppered shrimp. Let's go ahead and try one of these little guys. Remember, by the way, in Jamaica, a lot of times these shells will be nice and soft. They'll just eat the shells as well. I'm not into that, so I'm definitely peeling them off of here and having just the shrimp only. The flavor is rich and hearty. It's got a little kick to it. Again, if you like it really hot, cut that Scotch bonnet pepper up. If you leave the seeds in, it will be even hotter. 2 of them will definitely, you'll know it. You'll know it for sure. This is delicious. Just the right amount of spice in these. That's it. Hot peppered shrimp, authentic Jamaican style. If you guys enjoyed this video, do us a favor, go ahead and subscribe to the channel, like it, and share it with your friends. We've been having a blast with this culinary circumnavigation that we've been doing. And I love Jamaica, so we have to have nothing but fun doing this Jamaican series. All right, everybody, happy and safe grilling. And like they said that on Jamaica, respect, man, respect.